The committee will reconvene. Obviously, there's a lot of ongoing discussion and negotiations about the Clinton contempt report. I think we need more time for OGR to clarify with the Clintons what they are actually agreeing to. Accordingly, the committee will postpone further consideration of the contempt. However, should there not be substantial compliance and agreement overnight, the committee will return to continue the hearing on the contempt.
Madam,
Mr. McGovern, you're recognized.
thank you, Madam Chair. And I want to state for the record that the Clintons have been trying to come to an agreement on testifying to the Oversight Committee with all relevant information. And what Chairman Comer was promoting, in my opinion, has always been an exercise in politics. This contempt resolution had no merit even before this hearing, and it certainly should not move forward. But I do want to commend the chairwoman because removing this was the right thing to do. And I know it wasn't easy. Our side is not afraid of releasing these files. We are not afraid of what comes out, and we are not afraid of holding rich and powerful men accountable up to, including the President of the United States and those in his administration. And just finally, Madam Chair, I made my thoughts clear about why I oppose the appropriations package, so I won't rehash that now. But in this measure, in the measure to repeal D.C.'s new tax law, Democrats strongly oppose this resolution, which would blow a $600 million hole in D.C.'s budget. I read a letter from the mayor and the chairman of the D.C. Council, which states that this would throw a huge wrench into D.C.'s current tax filing season and cause people to refile their taxes. That's insane. And if Republicans get their way, they would be undoing D.C.'s new child tax credit, which would give thousands of dollars to families with children to deal with childhood poverty. So in any event, I just wanted to state that for the record, and I yield back.
Thank you, Mr. McGovern. Is there anyone else seeking to testify on the Senate amendments to H.R. 7148, H.J. Res. 142, or H.R. 4090? Ms. Leisure-Fernandez.
Oh, I'm sorry, we're not there yet.
Seeing none, this closes the hearing portion of our meeting. The chair will be in receipt of a motion from the gentleman from Georgia, Mr. Jack.
Madam Chair, I move the committee grant a rule providing for the consideration of the Senate amendments to H.R. 7148, the Consolidated Appropriations Act 2026. The rule makes in order a single motion offered by the chair of the Committee on Appropriations or his designee that the House concur in the Senate amendments to H.R. 7148. The rule waives all points of order against the consideration of the Senate amendments in the motion. The rule provides that the Senate amendments in the motion shall be considered as read. The rule provides 1 hour of debate on the motion equally divided and controlled by the chair and ranking minority member of the Committee on Appropriations or the respective designees. The rule further provides for consideration of H.J. Res. 142, disapproving the action of the District of Columbia Council and approving the D.C. Income and Franchise Tax Conformity and Revision Temporary Amendment Act of 2025 under a closed rule. The rule waives all points of order against consideration of the joint resolution. The rule provides that the joint resolution shall be considered as read. The rule waives all points of order against provisions in the joint resolution. The rule provides 1 hour of general debate equally divided and controlled by the chair and ranking minority member of the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform or their respective designees. The rule provides that pursuant to Section 604H of the Home Rule Act, a motion to recommit is not in order to the joint resolution if under consideration while the act of the D.C. Council is within the congressional review period prescribed in Section 602 of such act. The rule further provides for consideration of H.R. 4090, the Critical Mineral Dominance Act, under a closed rule. The rule waives all points of order against consideration of the bill. The rule provides that the amendment in the nature of a substitute recommended by the Committee on Natural Resources now printed in the bill shall be considered as adopted, and the bill as amended shall be considered as read. The rule waives all points of order against provisions in the bill as amendment. The rule provides 1 hour of general debate equally divided and controlled by the chair and ranking minority member of the Committee on Natural Resources or their respective designees. Finally, the rule provides 1 motion to recommit.
You've now heard the motion. Thank you, Mr. Jack. Is there any discussion or amendment to the rule?
I think I've said enough.
I am not going to answer that. Ms. Scanlon, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have an amendment to the rule. I move the committee make in order amendment number 6 to the Senate amendment to H.R. 7148, offered by Representative Wasserman Schultz, which would prohibit the use of funds to detain or deport Haitian or Venezuelan recipients of temporary protected status, otherwise known as TPS, who continue to meet the statutory eligibility requirements for TPS, including a prohibition on granting TPS to individuals with criminal convictions. We have, hundreds of thousands of Haitian and Venezuelan folks in our districts who have come here under TPS, and the summary denial of that status to them is causing a lot of hardship. I think this makes sense, and I would urge that people vote for the amendment.
Thank you, Ms. Scanlon. Is there any further discussion on the amendment from Ms. Scanlon? Hearing none, the question is on the amendment. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. No. In the opinion of the chair,
would
the noes
request
have
a
it. Ms.
recorded vote.
Scanlon requests a recorded vote. The clerk will call the roll.
Mrs. Fishbach. Mrs. Fishbach, no. Mr. Norman. Mr. Norman, no. Mr. Roy. Mr. Roy, no. Mrs. Houchin. Mr. Langworthy. Mr. Scott. Mr. Scott, no. Mr. Griffith. Mr. Griffith, no. Mr. Jack. Mr. Jack, no. Mr. McGovern. Mr. McGovern, aye. Ms. Scanlon.
Aye.
Ms. Scanlon, aye. Mr. Neguse. Mr. Neguse, aye. Ms. Ledger Fernandez. Ms. Ledger Fernandez, aye. Madam Chair.
No.
Madam Chair, no.
The clerk will report the total.
4 yeas, 7 nays.
The noes have it. The amendment's not agreed to. Oh, is there further discussion on the amendment?
Madam Chair.
Ms. Ledger Fernandez, you're recognized.
Madam Chair, I have an amendment to the rule. I move the committee make an order amendment number 24 to the said amendment to H.R. 7148, Consolidated Appropriations Act 2026, offered by Representative Salinas and myself, which would hold the federal government civilly liable when a CBP or ICE officer violates an individual's constitutional right, creating a cause of action against the federal government. As of October 2025, it was reported that immigration agencies held at least 170 U.S. citizens against their will. That's 4 months ago. And we know that many more citizens have been arrested, detained, and thrown into immigration detention centers. You cannot be arresting citizens and saying they're violating immigration laws. We know that this number is well above 200 by now. And what's sad is many U.S. citizens are often stopped by ICE based only on how they look. Do they look brown? Do they look Latino? Do they look like my brother or my sons? And that is a violation of the First and Fourth Amendments of the Constitution. What we keep hearing from ICE and CBP and the Trump administration is they have complete immunity. Well, that is not true. But it is important that Congress speak out and say they do not have complete immunity. And indeed, they cannot continue to violate United States citizens' constitutional rights. And we shouldn't even be having to have this conversation. We shouldn't be begging the ICE or CBP to do their job consistent with the Constitution. So instead, we should be passing a law to hold them civilly liable for that. We should make sure that there is accountability. And I urge my colleagues to vote for this amendment, and I yield back.
Thank you, Ms. Ledger Fernandez. Is there any further discussion on the amendment? Hearing none, the question is on the amendment. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed say no. No. In the opinion of the chair, the noes have it. Ms. Ledger Fernandez requests a recorded vote. The clerk will call the roll.
Mrs. Fishbach. No. Mrs. Fishbach, no. Mr. Norman. Mr. Norman, no. Mr. Roy. Mr. Roy, no. Mrs. Houchin. Mr. Langworthy. Mr. Langworthy, no. Mr. Scott. Mr. Scott, no. Mr. Griffith. Mr. Griffith, no. Mr. Jack. Mr. Jack, no. Mr. McGovern. Mr. McGovern, aye. Ms. Scanlon. Ms. Scanlon, aye. Mr. Neguse. Mr. Neguse, aye. Ms. Ledger Fernandez.
Aye.
Ms. Ledger Fernandez, aye. Madam Chair.
No.
Madam Chair, no.
The clerk will report the total.
4 yeas, 8 nays.
The noes have it, the amendment is not agreed to. Any further discussion on the rule?
Madam Chair,
Ms. Ledger Fernandez, you're recognized.
I have an amendment to the rule. I move the committee make an order amendment number 4 to H.R. 4090, the Critical Mineral Dominance Act, offered by myself, which prohibits prioritization of a mining project if it is owned or operated by a foreign entity of concern or subsidiary of a foreign entity of concern. In other words, China. And we had a very, I think, good discussion about this earlier on. We should not be providing fast-track authority to China to come in and mine our lands and take our critical minerals. It's something we need to address. I raise it over and over in this committee. I'm not going to go into a long explanation because I think we've had it, but I do want there to be a vote on this motion, and I'm going to ask for a recorded vote because I think we should go on the record of where we stand in terms of stopping China from mining our critical minerals and taking them across the ocean. Thank you, Madam Chair, and I yield back.
Thank you, Ms. Ledger Fernandez, and I think you've raised an important point. I just have some concerns, as others have said, about the way this is being approached. So I hope that the China Committee and you and others will look at a way for that to be done within the very liberal laws that we have in this country concerning ownership. So perhaps something can be done, and I admire you for what you're doing. Any further discussion on the amendment? Hearing none, the question's on the amendment. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed say no. No. In the opinion of the chair, the noes have it. The amendment is not agreed to.
Recorded vote.
Okay. The clerk will call the roll.
Mrs. Fishbach? No. Mrs. Fishbach, no. Mr. Norman? No. Mr. Norman, no. Mr. Roy? No. Mr. Roy, no. Mrs. Houghton? Mr. Langworthy? No. Mr. Langworthy, no. Mr. Scott? No. Mr. Scott, no. Mr. Griffith? Mr. Griffith, no. Mr. Jack? No. Mr. Jack, no. Mr. McGovern? Mr. McGovern, aye. Ms. Scanlon? Ms. Scanlon, aye. Mr. Neguse? Mr. Neguse, aye. Ms. Ledger Fernandez? Ms. Ledger Fernandez, aye. Madam Chair?
No.
Madam Chair, no.
The clerk will report the total.
4 yeas, 8 nays.
The noes have it. The amendment's not agreed to. Are there any further amendments to the rule? Hearing no further discussion, the question is on the motion from the gentleman from Georgia. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. No. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. The motion is agreed to. Mr. McGovern requests a roll call. A recorded vote's been requested. The clerk will call the roll.
Mrs. Fishbach? Yes. Mrs. Fishbach, aye. Mr. Norman? Mr. Norman, aye. Mr. Roy? Aye. Mr. Roy, aye. Mrs. Houchin? Mr. Langworthy? Aye. Mr. Langworthy, aye. Mr. Scott? Aye. Mr. Scott, aye. Mr. Griffith? Aye. Mr. Griffith, aye. Mr. Jack?
Aye.
Mr. Jack, aye. Mr. McGovern? No. Mr. McGovern, no. Ms. Scanlon? Ms. Scanlon, no. Mr. Neguse? Mr. Neguse, no. Ms. Ledger Fernandez? No. Ms. Ledger Fernandez, no. Madam Chair?
Aye.
Madam Chair, aye.
The clerk will report the total.
8 yeas, 4 nays.
The ayes have it. The motion to report is agreed to. Accordingly, the gentleman from Georgia, Mr. Jack, will be managing the rule for the majority. And Mr. McGovern will handle it for the minority without objection. This very interesting meeting is adjourned. I do too.